Danielle Pettiford. Welcome to my show where I talk about all things Enneagram and how it can help you thrive in your relationships. You probably know this already, but here at Couples Academy, we love the Enneagram because it's been so transformational in helping our couples understand themselves and each other. Why? Simple. Because through the Enneagram, you discover what makes you tick and what ticks you off. When we can understand these things about ourselves and each other, we can empathize and then grow in intimacy. Think about it. Intimacy means see into me, right? So it's important for us to be able to see into ourselves and our loved ones. If you've never heard of the Enneagram and you're curious to learn more and how through conscious awareness you can become the best version of yourself, you'll want to subscribe to my channel now. Let's get into tonight's topic. Enneagram at a glance. Enneagram is still a new concept for many, so I wanted to give you a quick breakdown of what it is to sort of demystify the term and the symbol that reminds many of a pentagram. It's not a pentagram. I've heard it said so many times. It looks like a pentagram. It's not a pentagram, and I'm going to explain to you everything in this show. But what is it? I would say at first glance, you might think that it's just like another personality test. And it's not. It's not like the Myers-Briggs or the other ones, but personality definitely plays a significant role in it. But it goes deeper than that because it's not so much what you do that sets your personality style, but why you do what you do. And for each of us, our why is just different. For most of us, it's based on some form of early childhood trauma. And it helps us to see certain aspects of us. It helps us to see our core fears, our motivations, desires, strengths. It helps us see our blind spots, what stresses us, and sins that drive us towards our compulsive behaviors. Most importantly, it shows us aspects of God's character and connects us more closely to the truth that we are made in His image and meant to reflect His spirit, not our skewed perspectives. Where did it come from? So there's so much talk about the Enneagram today, and I myself first heard about it about 5 years ago at a church that Hassani was pastoring at, and the accuracy blew me away. At the time, I noticed a lot of churches with counseling staff were retiring the use of Myers-Briggs and using Enneagram. It's as if it just showed up overnight and out of nowhere, but evidence suggests something very different. It actually suggests that it's 200 years old. Now, the exact origin of Enneagram is widely disputed, but it seems to be connected to different spiritual and oral traditions, as well as some mathematical and philosophical traditions. Some scholars claim that it's connected to early esoteric Christianity, even as far back as our founding fathers. Others say that it's the study of human psychology, but I like what Dr. Todd Wilson says the most, who is a speaker, pastor, theologian, and the author of a book entitled The Enneagram Goes to Church. He says, does it even matter? Because all truth is God's truth. And that resonated with me powerfully. Because in the same way, does it matter who discovered fire, herbs, or water, winter, summer, spring, and fall, all these things, seed time and harvest. We know that fire can burn, but it also keeps us warm. Herbs can be used for medicinal purposes and spice, and it can also be used for harm. Water is essential to life, but can also destroy in monsoons and storms, right? So does it matter who gets the credit for observing God's creation? Because all truth is God's truth, no matter who claims it, renames it, or repackages it. What does the symbol mean? Let's talk about the symbol. So the symbol helps us to visualize the 9 types, and we each carry the traits of all 9 personality types. But there is one type we naturally gravitate towards, and I'm going to go through those 9 types real quick. 1 is the reformer. 2 is known as the helper. 3 is known as the achiever. 4 is known as the individualist. 5s are the observer. 6 are the loyalist. 7 are the enthusiasts. 8 are the challengers. And 9s are the mediators. And guess what? There's no 10 because then you'd think you were a perfect 10. We adopt our type in childhood to cope with and to navigate the world that has been presented to us, okay? That's probably why some say that our personality is shaped 1/3 nature, 1/3 nurture, and 1/3 environment, right? So you can live in the same house with someone and they could be completely different and have different outlooks because nurture and environment may be the only things that are taken into consideration, and that would only be 2/3. The number we resonate with the most is called our core personality style, or our dominant type. Unlike other personality assessments, the Enneagram takes into account the fluid nature that is constantly adapting as circumstances change. Sometimes we function in a healthy space, and other times we move into an unhealthy space. That's what makes Enneagram so different and so special. Because it can help people identify when they are healthy and at their best, or when they are unhealthy and engaging in self-defeating behavior. When you look at the Enneagram diagram, you'll see that each number has a dynamic relationship with 4 other numbers. Your dominant type never changes, remember that. But your behavior is influenced by these 4 other numbers. So much so that you can start to look like one of the other numbers depending on what's happening in your life. When you learn your dominant type and how it interacts with these other numbers, you'll become more aware of when you need to question and challenge your individual compulsions. What are the wings? Wings help us fly. The numbers to the left and the right of your dominant type are called wings. These wings, or wing numbers, are like an additional lens or perspective on or over your dominant type point of view and characteristics, right? Typically, you'll lean towards one of these numbers, either to the left or to the right of you, and take on some of their characteristics and traits as well. Stress and security numbers, not often talked about in my sessions because it could get confusing, but I'm going to help you understand this today. So remember, your unconscious motivations and dominant type never change, but your behavior does, depending on whether you're in a time of stress or in a time of security, basically emotionally healthy or emotionally unhealthy. The numbers at the end of the arrows, take a look at the chart, reveal how each type typically thinks, acts, and feels in times of security or in times of stress. Your type security point indicates the number your personality moves towards when you're feeling secure and healthy. It's indicated by the arrows pointing towards your number on the Enneagram. Your type stress point is the number your personality moves towards when you're under pressure. It's indicated by the arrow pointing away from your number on the Enneagram chart. So for example, if you're a 5, when you're feeling secure and good, you'll exhibit more of the healthy 8's characteristics. But when you're stressed, you'll begin to digress and you'll express more of the unhealthy characteristics of the 7. Let's talk about triads, okay? So the 9 numbers on the Enneagram are divided into 3 triads. Each of these numbers within each triad is driven by a certain emotion related to a part of the body known as the center of intelligence. Now, there are 3 centers of intelligence: the gut triad, 8s, 9s, and 1s, the heart triad, which is the 2, 3s, and 4s, and the head triad, which is the 5, 6s, and 7. Your triad is another way of describing how you habitually take in, process, and respond to life. Well, that's it on the Enneagram at a glance. Tune in next week where I'll be breaking down my Enneagram cheat sheet so that you can identify all of your personality aspects and those of the people that are all around you with ease. And if you like what you saw today, do me a favor and hit that like button. Also, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you have any other questions, specific things you want to know about the Enneagram so that I can make sure to cover that on the next upcoming shows. That's it for today. See ya.